Hey everybody, my name is Brandon Miller and I'm here to talk to you about supporting appropriate adult relationships in education. To start off with, again, talking about appropriate adult relationships and what this possibly could look like. And I think as building leaders, this is something we model and strive for each day. I think it's very important for us to model this to our teachers, to our staff, and to students school-wide. Really looking at school-wide positive supports. What are those supports? What are those guidelines? And really making sure that everyone understands what positive relationships look like. Positive professional relationships look like in a school setting. Building relationships, these things don't just come overnight, and I think this is something that you have to constantly build on each day and every day with students, with staff, and with your colleagues. Making sure that you're there, you're accountable, and you're a person that is able to listen and provide feedback when wanted or needed. Pointing out positives. I said earlier, just a little bit ago, talking about making sure you're a good listener, hearing people and understanding them, but pointing out the positives, not dwelling on those negative aspects that always or sometimes can be present a lot of the times. High expectations with learning. I believe that this goes hand in hand with building those relationships, not only being able to support those students and teachers and staff where they're at, but really what is that expectation in that school? What is that expectation in that classroom for positive relationships to happen and to occur organically in that classroom? Taking ownership with individual learning. When I say this, I mean is how does that teacher or staff take ownership in that learning, in that positive environment? And how does that student take some ownership with that positive learning environment? Trust in systematic process. So when I talk about school-wide positive relationships and supports and modeling that as a building leader is really looking at that systematic process, whether it's sustainable, the strategies you have in place, and really looking at the structures to provide guidelines for teachers and students to be successful. Consistent collaboration with colleagues. I believe this is critical for staff development, is that consistent collaboration with peers with in the school to help support students and staff through this process. And then again, student-teacher efficacy. Both of these parts with professional development, with consistent building relationships is important. Negative relationships. We talk about positive relationships, wanting to build those positive relationships every single day, but negative relationships are there, and they are a reality that leaders need to address. And this could be from a teacher, student, or a leadership standpoint. So making sure that you avoid sarcastic comments, stay positive with those pieces. Body language. This is a big piece that a lot of adults and that they don't understand that they're doing, is that body language. Hands on your hips when you're talking to students. You see in this picture, this gentleman's pointing his finger, very aggressive face, visibly frustrated, could be angry towards someone or towards a student, and that, like I said at the beginning, ultimately can break that student teacher relationship. Using power to try and engage students. This piece can be very detrimental to building those relationships. I often hear at different levels, I'll use elementary as an example, is you won't really want to get that sticker, but you won't if you don't do this piece. Starting out with the positive is really trying to initiate and engage with that sticker choice or whatever it might be for the behavior, but if you don't do it, you will have this consequence. So then coming back with a power of giving that student a consequence right away. not well structured or positive classroom environment. Ultimately, reality, sometimes there are different behaviors and social emotional aspects of the classroom, and sometimes one or two things can occur that will set off that environment and climate to a negative aspect. But as the adult and the teacher in that classroom, how do you continue to build those positive relationships, stay consistent with the strategies you're putting in place to ensure that everybody in that classroom is continuing to learn? Methods of integration. This really needs to be planned, purposely planned, and has an intentional aspect in every piece of content, every piece of lesson, and every structure that's built into the day. From the very moment that those students step into a classroom. Checking in with students and teachers. As a building leader, you need to check in with teachers. How are they doing coming through those doors? Are they ready to work with students that day? Checking in with students as they're coming in the building, as they're coming into the classroom. Are they ready to learn? Where are they at emotionally that day coming into the building? That's an area that we really need to understand from each student's point of view is where are they mentally as they enter that building? I said earlier, embedding this into daily content. These strategies need to be focused and intentional with every aspect that we teach in. Conferencing with students, I believe this is a big part to work on those individual goals. Are you sitting down talking with them? How can you help them, support them through these different struggles with their strengths and weaknesses? I put biography-driven instruction on here. This is a big piece we use in Dodge City, is understanding the whole child, not just a little bit of how they learn, but understanding who they are, what's their background, what's their language, what are some of their other environmental aspects that we can help support them. Just knowing them when they come through that door, knowing who they are as a person, so we can help teach them each day. And consistent praise and feedback. I think a lot of the times we miss those moments, those teachable moments with students to help give them that feedback, to encourage them to keep trying, to keep going. We miss those opportunities with students, and sometimes it seems inconsistent, and students aren't able to rationalize with that. Creating more opportunities for learning. This is a big part to modeling that part for teachers, modeling that part for students, and what that positive relationship looks like. As a building leader, I think this is an aspect. Each day you walk through that building, what kind of impact do you want to have on teachers, on students when you come to that building? How do you want to model that so then you can turn around so teachers can model that for students and students can model that for other students? Opportunities to practice, staff development, looking at professional development district-wide. How do we put in these biography-driven instruction strategies to help support learning the whole child, to help support these social emotional learning aspects? And then ultimately, when we're planning ELA, math, social studies, science, how are we putting these strategies in practice each day? Real life examples, collaboration. I said that earlier with your peers, with your colleagues, is what are some examples that you're seeing, and how can we be better at approaching these situations? How can we as staff, teachers, building principals help support those learning opportunities, and really ultimately building in those positive strategies and learning those positive relationships? Roadblocks, barriers for positive learning. These are always parts, and I think I alluded to some a little bit earlier, was different aspects of the classroom can change the environment, the climate of that classroom. So making sure that you're aware of those roadblocks that might steer you away from building that positive learning environment in your classroom. Communication needs to be bidirectional. I've presented before about a consistent feedback loop is how to building leaders, teachers, staff, students, district leaders. How are we all communicating on positive learning relationships within buildings, within the district, within those classrooms? Classroom structure is not present. I said this earlier with the engagement piece and understanding how do you set up good classroom structures in your day-to-day operations, within your content, within your ELA that you're teaching or math. What are those strategies you're put in place? What are those differentiation pieces that you need or scaffolds you need to put in place to help support learning? Negatives are the norms, right? Really looking at from different angles here is it's just that's a negative environment, so it becomes the normal in that classroom. So how do we steer away from that? That negative or is the norm, and ultimately no expectations. That wasn't set from the beginning. Teachers and students don't know those boundaries, and we really don't get into those positive learning environments because it's blurry and students have a hard time understanding what that means. And then these next two slides are my references that I used throughout this presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to post a comment. Thank you.